That we brought up on the screen was 11.8 billion rand leaving the country yesterday. This is foreigners dumping South African stocks. We're joined again by the CEO of Inkunzi Wealth, Owen Nkomo. So Owen, let's put this in context. The figure sounds alarming, 11 billion or 12 billion rand, but there are huge amounts of money coming in and out of the country all the time. Just try and put it into context for us.
Yes, thank you, Francis. I mean, we had about a week ago the government going out to raise money from foreign markets through the bond markets, and we managed to get oversubscribed by about 1.5 to 2 odd times, where we raised $5 billion very easily. So if you look at that, I mean, 5 billion times 15 is about 75 billion rands that was raised. And if you compare it to this 12 billion rands of net outflows that was registered last week, potentially there's a few things that might have happened. People might have been, exiting the portfolios at the end of the month. And as I've said as well, there's some cash that's being taken out of the major markets as well. But I believe that, yes, the number's concerning, but potentially let us keep looking at the net number over the next few months to get a sense of whether or not more foreigners are now consistently selling out of the South African market.
And we often see this, don't we, that foreigners sell equities or stocks, but they like South African bonds. So is that consolation in a way?
Look, I think that if you, in my view, if you're going to buy a country's bonds, you are signaling that you've got confidence that the country is going to be able to pay back those bonds. And these bonds are in dollars, Francis. You'll think that emerging markets are or rather the riskiness of emerging markets economies means that the dollar-denominated assets of emerging markets makes those assets non-attractive at all. But the fact that we managed to get oversubscribed last week on the bond sales that we did to raise $5 billion means that people are actually confident in the country's health down the line.
All right, so there is a silver lining, even though we're seeing specifically stocks being sold off. Around the stocks and the sell-off, I was asking you earlier before we got cut off, how much of this has got to do with the global environment, low global growth, the trade wars, and how much of it is about confidence in South African companies and the economy here?
Look, that's a very difficult question to answer, especially when you try to gauge how much of the sell-off is related to confidence in our country. But if you look at the fact that the selling is basically consistent over the past few months since Donald Trump started to go aggressive against not emerging markets necessarily, but against China, which is deemed a quasi-emerging market, you can see that there definitely is a shift out of capital being allocated in emerging markets to developed economies. And I'm confident as well, Francis, that in the next few months, should things probably stabilize, you will see this money coming back home. If we should find some sort of settlement between China and the USA, you will see capital starting to come back to emerging markets as well, especially if you look at the interest rate differential between the developing and the developed countries.
All right, good. Let's hope this money comes back. Thank you very much, Owen Nkomo from Inkunzi Wealth Group.